So I guess I'll start here. Hey, I'm Robo, and I'm going to introduce a couple of core components to some wearable computing systems, and show a couple of different input and output devices, and I'm just going to kind of start off with the idea of cyborg. I'll go back to the idea of robot. Basically, it was the idea of this autonomous worker was it was originally a genetic engineering concept in Karl Čapek's play in like 1920, and that's where the word robot and robot came from. And in the 60s, when Manfred Clynes and Nathan Klein came up with the word cyborg, cybernetics had already been around since like 1948, and cybernetics is defined as like the study of messages, of control over, like, let's say, machines and society. So already, cybernetics is a social, has a social interest. So then computers are cybernetic in operation because they rely on feedback loops. When you get this feedback, do this. Humans are also cybernetic in nature. We have homeostasis, which is this automatic process that takes care of things for us, so that we don't have to think about them, and we're freed up for more intellectual pursuits like exploration and thinking and dreaming and making films and stuff. So the idea that a cybernetic organism is the real basis of cyborg is I forget the French word, but basically it's like it's more than the sum of the parts of cybernetics and organisms. I think that organisms are already cybernetic. So they came up with this idea, cyborg, because they're thinking about space exploration, and they wanted to free up astronauts on long voyages for more intellectual pursuits than having to maintain their life support systems and whatnot. So the idea, the cyborg, is that you take these processes that you would otherwise have to think about, and humans don't have to think about them anymore. For the good of humanity. And it was a very humanistic idea. So, I guess skipping ahead. Oh, here. Have some nori. Great. You could crunch on it, or you could just kind of like suck on it, or whatever. Okay, so now to the idea of like wearable technology and wearable computers. Well, there's all sorts of things that can be wearable technologies. Any technology that you wear is wearable technology. There are things such as LEDs in clothing, conductive fibers being threaded through things, woven and screen-printed circuit boards, and
just a cell phone in your pocket that's vibrating.
Yeah, exactly. So there is when we start talking about I don't really even know that I want to like try and define what is a wearable computer versus wearable technology, but there are definitely certain levels of memory and processor speed and power and whatnot and amount that you have to do stuff. So maybe in sort of like ascending order or whatever, when we're talking about the actual brains of the thing. So all of these embedded devices have different embedded hardware and software. So, for example, this is a BASIC stamp. This is programmed in BASIC. This is like a 50 megahertz microcontroller, and it comes in this DIP package. So you have these pins, and you could plug it into a proto board, and then you could set things to DIP switches and bring in. I think this is like an A to D converter. You have DACs and digital analog converters and analog to digital converters, and this is a power regulator. Make sure that this gets 5 volts. 5 volts, a lot of microcontrollers work with, and so does USB. So also, if you give certain things like 6 volts, not all of them will really care, and then you could do certain things with that. I just hacked open my Sony Ericsson T610 because somewhere I saw that someone shows how to take the IR filter out of the camera and turn this into a little Bluetooth night vision camera to just attach to like my lapel or something, Take this. There are these vibrating motors and stuff. I want to do all sorts of things like this, like start making like human tails and building them into making dreadlocks and things, and building different vibrational senses into dreadlocks and stuff, and making them like responsive to different imperceivable ranges of the electromagnetic spectrum. So maybe you go out in the sunlight and your UV one tingles, a little bit more or something. So doing that with tails also, and I also want to do some mixed reality stuff with like these like Second Life. You have these like virtual reality, massive multi-user online virtual worlds, and giving you real senses, so that if somebody sneaks up behind your avatar, but your viewport is facing forward, your tail or whatever, your hair will alert you. Actually, I like this shirt a lot because I'm just gonna put maybe a little fan, some little things inside here. I'll just ruffle my ruffles and tell me different things. So anyway, that has nothing to do with the Sony Ericsson T610 other than the fact that I ripped the phaser motor out of it. This is my Trio 650. Since I got a unlimited data plan, this is probably going to be one of my big, more so than trying to use like the Wi-Fi, or maybe doing like a Bluetooth dial-up or whatever thing. I'm doing more of like my net stuff on this, and perhaps if I get like a phone card for my tablet, that will be more towards the online area. Also, what I'm going to do is this is going to be my GPS for my scooter. I'm going to have it on my arm, and I'm going to have this telling me where I am. This also, this WinTech, this is great because it's like a 4-mode GPS. It's like a USB GPS, a Bluetooth GPS. It's a standalone data logger, so I could drop this in your bag And next time I see you, I can just call up the data logger and figure out where you've been and download that and whatnot. Not like I would. Yes. So, probably the most hacking that I've done would be on my Arcos PMA 430, which is a combination PVR and PDA. So the PVR has its own CPU and DSP for doing the MPEG-4 playback and compression, the MP3 playback and wave recording, and it also has a CPU and DSP for the Linux kernel. And this is Arcos sucks because this is the only device of its kind with these features or whatever. And they said, ooh, yeah, there's going to be an SDK and stuff, and then they stopped coming out with firmware upgrades. So things like, you know, you try and go and use it as like a personal organizer, and like you have to like sync with the network to get your time or whatever. So there's two upgrades so far. One was Zebra, and this is Giraffe, of an OS called OpenPMA, which is you know, very much like the Qtopia that came with it, but it has more features, and it's user developer community created. So this is what I use because it has the analog like video in and out. This was my choice for what for the kind of wearable computer that would allow me to have like a head-mounted display versus having this thing strapped to my arm because it doesn't have a video output. So just to give you an idea, Arcos gave me this, and I haven't accessed the full functionality of this yet. There's some serial, you know, they possibly for a blue serial keyboard later that they never introduced. So there's serial on this or whatever. There's this proprietary connector. These wires are all permanently attached to the cradle and are heavier than the cradle itself. So I have a little bit more, when I open this up and I use a macro photography on my camera, and then on my screen I blew it up and used that to trace out the circuits and reverse engineer stuff and figure out, hey, the media functionality doesn't really go through anything. It's just metal. So sometimes I like to call it the prawn. They are effectively the same. And there's the power connector that I have another of. So basically, this is a 4-conductor, 1/8-inch camcorder cable that actually, if you plugged it right into the Arcos, it wouldn't even have the standard pinouts. There was like a ground reversal somewhere, and like the video, the signal and ground are reversed, and like something weird with the audio. So I mean, you know, from step one, you have to, if you want to, you know, plug that, you know, with a camcorder cable, plug the Arcos in with a camcorder cable, you already have to start hacking. Now they also sell a travel kit, which is they go through the charade of making all these pins and whatever. They don't all connect to everything and whatever. And basically, it's a 2-piece travel kit or whatever. It's this cable and thing. I don't exactly remember what the configuration is, but if you lose one, you have to get the whole kit again. So that's it. So, this was created to work with a specific case, this case, and what happens is there's a USB host and a USB client, and that plugs into the side, and I just knocked my audio in cable, knocked out my audio and video in cable. It's all right. There's a built-in mic. This is the button to choose HMD or LCD screen or whatever, video out or LCD screen, and also there's like the IR transceiver, all of which are essentially usable with the prawn still on until you put it in the case. So the pins are still accessible like that. So that's kind of like why I designed prawn that way. So let's look at some ways that, all right, you know, once we have this mounted on us, either on a this is a deconstructed cowboy hat, so it didn't fit me as a cowboy hat, so I took the top off, and it's kind of a fez, and then this has become a gorget. And the gorget was worn like in medieval times and was adopted by civilian wear. Like Rembrandt has a couple of self-portraits with gorget and stuff. And what it is it's neck armor that it would go up and it would protect the throat, and also it would be worn to provide some cushion from pauldrons, which were shoulder armor that would basically at least extend over the weapon arm to make sure that your weapon arm couldn't just be lobbed off. Your arm's off! No, it isn't. To prevent that kind of confusion from happening. So whether, you know, whether your CPU is mounted, you wear it on your sleeve, or it's on a gorget, or you put it inside of a vest or a pocket or whatever, you can't use the touchscreen anymore. So what do you do? And this is also assuming that you're also using like a head-mounted display, which we'll get to. So how do you get around? There's a couple of different pointing devices and keyboard stuff. This is a folding Bluetooth keyboard, and I opened it up the first day I got it, and oops. Basically, there's a ribbon cable coming off this side, and the other side of the keyboard is just like this, with a ribbon cable, and then they both go to a common board, which is the Bluetooth board. So basically, these keyboard pieces can be taken out. A lot of my strategy has been, can I reduce the amount of casing that is used in some of these things? So I'm going to rip them open anyway. If I lose it, you know, maybe it's for the better. So I'm thinking of doing things like a work apron or like a skirt or whatever. So you have the two sides of the keyboard here, and it's Bluetooth and stuff. And then you know, I want to I want to do a little writing, so I go into my text program and I like clip it to my knee or something. And you know, or you could put the keyboard halves on the two arms of your desk chair, if you're good. So this is more of like kind of like a two-hand or whatever.
It's mounted on your
keyboard. Exactly.
Yeah.
you know. And then this is the thing of like one of these. This is a very easy sort of like, you know, next step or whatever, obvious step or whatever. But basically, what you've done now is that you've occupied kind of two hands. And wearable computing is, the idea is that computing isn't your primary activity. So we want to try and keep that hand free. So there's recording keyboards. These are keyboards, but they're multi-touch, so that different combinations of you know.
I can give it 30 seconds to
Yeah,
talk about that.
please do. The frog pad.
Basically, you see there's black letters and green letters, and they're organized in the order of frequency in the English language. So, like, most of the words you can type most of the way just by pressing the keys without pressing anything else. But to get the green characters, the less commonly used character, you hit space and the letter at the same time. So, you know, you're sort of typing naturally, and then you like your typing, and then you hit a couple together in there. And you can also do things like Control and Tab and Shift plus other letters, because you'll hit Tab and then it'll sort of fold until you hit the next key, and then it'll do that combination. So you can, I mean, they say that you, with 2 weeks of practice, you can get up to 40 words a minute with this thing. I've had it for a while, but I haven't spent a lot of time with it. I can probably type pretty slowly with it, but the whole like organized by how frequent the letters are used in the language is really clever. It really helps you type fast.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you know, even back with this is a QWERTY, which is, you know, designed to slow us down. So there are some other layouts. I don't remember what the first couple letters are of them, but they're much better one-handed layouts to minimize finger travel. This is a Twiddler. They're up to the Twiddler 2 now. This is a serial. This is a serial USB dongle. So you have, you know, Alt and whatever and Control and stuff here. And then I don't know. I'll figure it out. Basically, there's already a Bluetooth accelerometer hack available out there, and so what?
So like a Twiddler.
Yeah, yeah. So basically, there was a grad program or whatever. There was a school who basically they released an accelerometer, a Bluetooth accelerometer module, but they purposely left enough traces on the board. They traced out all the pins purposely to allow people to hook up other stuff, so that you can do you know, Bluetooth. So there's a hack for that, and so that plus the accelerometer, this will work as like I guess a mouse and stuff, and you could do some really interesting I guess in software you could do some interesting context-sensitive stuff. Here's just an RF presentation mouse. It's a full mouse. Not a good way to see if the laser's on. Okay, I guess there is a battery in there. Cool. So there's that. I mean, this RF mouse, you know, the receiver stores in here. It has to be used on a surface or whatever, but it does have like the four-way scroll or whatever. There's other things called the gyro mouse, which have accelerometers in them and stuff, and it's just basically you could use it down there. There's a button that lets you pick it up and do that. Also, there's the thumb trackball, which there's some slippage here and stuff. I think if the tolerances were corrected for whatever mechanically and stuff, the tracking would be a lot more accurate. Alright, so on to head-mounted displays. This is the iTop. I believe it's 16, maybe 12-bit color. It's 320 by 240. It's monocular. So it came in built into a pair of sunglasses, but the optical clarity of the plastic was terrible, and so for safety it had to be put in the closet. these used to be the battery contacts. So here's the battery pack, and I've taken this out and put it in a couple of other cases, like cases that were intended for like D-sub, you know, even like, you know, whatever. So, you know, taking this is some optics, and there's the screen in there and stuff, and taking the board out and basically cramming it into maybe not something of this size or whatever, but similar. Then attaching just a similar, just a simple cell phone rotational clip. You know, if it was clicking or whatever, the clip could just very easily be attached to you know, my hat or whatever, and be able to like just flip down over the eye. This is just in kind of like ghetto, like bulldog clip mode. But this thin battery will also fit inside of this case, and so will this battery pack. And so basically, you can have this case with nothing but the HMD sticking out. Here's another HMD. My signs sort of get wacky here, / messed up. This is from a camcorder, and it's a CRT, and so it's a little cathode ray tube, and you know, I want to do some stuff with that. Of course, I don't really know this pinout or whatever. Pinouts are your friends. Let's see. This lens is a. I'll tell you what. Yep. Yeah. So, I think this is a diopter, something that allows a very small display to be put very, very close up to your eye and still be in focus. And so this is a, I guess, a double convex lens. So things really, really close up to the eye are in focus. So, you know, just something to remember if you're ever trying to see at that distance. Try a double convex. Okay. Body mounts. You know, the head mount, the helmet mount, the gorget. This is the Bond. Of course, we've got you know, every range of you know, military harness and pistol style pouch system, Alice and Malice, packed in different webbing assortments and belts and there and those. And of course, vests as well. Let's move on to. This is just. I don't have the tiny little camera with me right now, but this is the receiver. Something that I recased. This is the video receiver for the little sugar cube sized video camera. These are like so steampunk. They're just camera, you know, stuff from cameras. Like there's like this is like from cameras and stuff. There's tons and tons of leather cases and things from cameras, and you could go all steampunk. as I kind of do here. Headsets, kinds of headsets. Headsets. Alright, so, this is a hack for the helmet. It's got the Velcro and something that's thin, and then it's got the microphone, which is right here, and it's magnetic. And so this is getting into the joy of making connectors and connecting with your connectors. Like these are, here's just a retractable headset. Just, it's got the mic and it's got the thing and whatnot. Here are like, just like hacked up earbuds and stuff. This is like hacked up earbud case and stuff. These wires are really small, and if you think about something like this wire, I mean, this has maybe 5 conductors. There's 6 pins, but the ground is shared, so you might have like 5 conductors in this, and if noise and stuff and shielding isn't much of a consideration, you could get a couple of thin wires out of some of these consumer things. I saved these little cases or whatever, these like kind of empty earbud things, because I'm going to put mics in them, and then with a Wearable circuit, you can create active noise cancellation on your own, and the components are probably less than $10 with the Wearable circuit. So this is all, I'm not really going into like systems architecture or whatever, but the whole idea is that it's aggressively field reconfigurable and modular, and the prawn can be this has standard 10th inch header sockets. If you wanted, you could field strip a wire with your teeth and jam it in there. I guess I'll go on to the obligatory Altoids tin hack. This is a USB hub and a USB Ethernet dongle in a tin, and the circuit board for this will also fit in there. Well, this is this USB serial dongle. And this has a clip on the back.
But can you still fit your stash in it?
Yeah.
Okay.
In like making film props and models and stuff, there's a phrase, kit bashing, because you're basically going into all the kits that you have and you're just taking parts from all different kits and mismatching them. So that's a lot of the fun with actually coming up with these connectors. There's connectors on tons of things, and you can get pinouts for things, or try and figure them out yourself. And sometimes, you could find out the pinout, but the hard part is actually physically connecting to it and stuff. So this is just something from some audio equipment that are some RCAs, and they've got these little header socket things, and this is like a little right angle. When to pin, this is just bent at a 90-degree angle, wire can be soldered onto this, and then this can be pushed over a pin. So basically, inside this, this is just the USB host connector to the Arcos. Basically, I wanted to reach around to the back of the pins in the connector, but I wanted to do it impermanently. And so I just plucked off the connector, and I made a couple of these, and I just pushed these right onto the pin. And these are this is the antenna for this. This is a Bluetooth antenna. And then also associated with this are basically what you could do is there are these retractable USB cables and retractable network cables. You could connect these like to either end, either like the feeding end or the coming out end or whatever. And I haven't always gotten all devices to all work at once or whatever, but you could do different things like I have like an RJ11, which is just a regular phone cable laying around somewhere. It comes with everything. You can't like stop people from giving them away because they're like modem cables or whatever, but if you plug it into the wall, it's like 30-something volts or whatever, and or if you go to like a library computer or whatever, you go to some public computers that you don't really have access to use it as a computer, but it has USB jacks or whatever. You've got your wearable rig and stuff, and you need a little power, and you recharge, and you're off. So a lot can be had. A lot of good can be had with this. And this is the camera that I was connecting to the Arcos last night. I had like a helmet-worn, head-worn camera, and I was showing the source of the video on my neck using this, which is kind of like the video choker. Which is as a video artist, I don't always want to deal with laptops and projectors and power and stuff. And so I'll just show some of my mixes on that thing through this, and this is a little 16mm film box, a 100-foot daylight spool from back when people used film. And if you here's more more connectorly bits and whatnot. But I'm basically done. I could show you a couple of images on my laptop or whatever, and but that's it. I guess that's the overview. Thanks.
Are you going to talk about applications at all, like what you use this stuff?
Oh yeah, yes. Some applications are like blogging or cyborg logging or cyborg blogging, and so it doesn't that doesn't always mean like a live web connection, but if you're recording things, there's for example, there's a chip, there's an SX based chip, which is the same base as the basic stamp, and it's called an SXVM or VOM, and it's a video overlay module, and it's like $40 or $50, and it'll take a NTSC in and out, or I think it'll do PAL also, so video in and out. And it's got a serial, and using, you might have that controller and fed serial messages by another microcontroller, and then what you could do is
like put your blog text right over the live camera feed.
yeah, since this is already serial, this has to be hacked anyway. Maybe this will just go right to, we'll hook the twiddler right to the basic stamp, which will then feed the SXVOM, and so you can have your helmet cam stuff. You can have everything being recorded onto MPEG-4 on this, with the video from your helmet cam, plus data from, let's say, your GPS coordinates, or your text. So if you want to like type out all your text first before you enter it into certain fields and stuff.
Have you done anything?
Also binaural audio recording and noise cancellation are some other things. Go ahead.
I was just going to ask if you've done anything with augmented reality, just because.
Oh, I'm super interested in that.
And just it seems like such the obvious, way to do that with the wearable. Is there a good? I mean, it's something that's been talked about for a long time, but do you know there's actually like an application that works for that yet? I mean, is that something you've actually used, or is it just?
There's some really good stuff. I'm about to blog about it on igargoyle.com. This week I'll put it up. Also, if any of you guys are going to be like in San Diego on Wednesday night, there's MakeFest, which is like a 2-hour make fair, is part of the ETech, Emerging Technologies Conference, and it's going to be free, I hear. So if you want to go down to San Diego and take in the free exhibit hall, and then check out MakeFest from 7:30 to 9:30, I believe, in Douglas A. My understanding is that's free and open to the public. So yeah, there's some great AR stuff that I'm going to blog about. I just don't remember what it is. There's like, for example, there's like a Doom, like an augmented reality Doom, and wearable computers that do 3D stuff are more like kind of laptops or like big hip bags, but I'm interested in simply doing the sort of like people who repair airplanes or whatever, whatever the manual, the user's manual for what they're working on, doing the monocular system that already gives you some sort of augmented reality because you're overlaying whatever this is over onto your regular field of vision. So that qualifies as AR. And so I would like to do things like having like light plots or stage plots or other things that need to be set up. And just not having to always walk over to a very large plot, which is the printout, large piece of paper. So it's just kind of have that with you, especially if you're like, you're up on a lift somewhere, 10 feet above the stage floor, and you're trying to like figure out where to put, which gels and, to put in the right lights and stuff. I mean, you want that to be as hands-free as possible. others that I can't think of, but I'm sure I have at one time or another. You're welcome. Thank you too.
Good luck carrying this all back.
Oh, thank you. I live close by, so I'm going to do 2 trips.
So your name is Robo and I Gargoyle?